What's up, guys? Hey, I'm Dustin Ibarra.
And I'm Greg Baldwin.
And we're podcasting.
Yeah!
Yeah, man. Welcome to Good Things Are Happening.
Man, it's good to be here.
Good things are happening, dude.
It's awesome, dude.
It's
awesome,
exciting.
man.
This is awesome because, like, we're doing this podcast and, like, good things are happening. And then it's like, I feel like we manifested this kind of. What's up, Greg?
What's up? Hold on a second.
What, you got a phone call?
Yeah. Hello?
Who's that?
It's our producer. She wants us to plug our show.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Be sure and like
Okay.
and subscribe to the Good Things Are Happening podcast. Follow us on Instagram so we can keep doing this.
Oh, the shirts, too.
Oh, we also got shirts. Good Things Are Happening. Merchandise, hats, yarmulkes, everything, you know.
Is that it? Okay, that's it.
That's it. Okay, cool. See, that was easy. That was painless, you know?
Subscribe, share, what all
Yeah,
that
it makes
stuff.
us feel, my self-esteem goes up, you know?
It does.
And I need that.
It does. It does.
How are you doing, dude?
I'm doing good, man. Everything's good. I mean, it's okay.
It's
know?
okay.
I'm like, sometimes life is really incredible.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like it's horrible, although it's really not. And then sometimes you're in the middle. I was on a big ride for a while. Then I went to a big low. And now I'm like right in the middle.
You know what?
So-
You just described what my day was a few days ago.
Oh, yeah.
Not emotionally, but I went to Disneyland.
Oh.
Went on the Guardians of the Galaxy ride,
Yeah.
and that was like that. You know,
Yeah.
life is up
Yeah.
and down, and then sometimes it drops you,
Yeah.
and then sometimes it shoots you way
And
up.
you're scared. Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
you're scared. Oh my God, this is crazy. And then you throw
I'm
up a
gonna
little.
die.
Yeah, you pee yourself a little bit sometimes in life. You know, there's so many emotional
Yeah.
ups and downs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to Disneyland. That was fun.
Nice.
I guess I'll talk about that. I was gonna
Yeah.
talk about, but yeah, that was really cool.
It was.
You went to Disneyland, but I'm a regular person. I'm a civilian, so I had to wait in lines like a peasant.
Yeah.
You know, Greg went last time he went. He was with a tour guide, and he could cut in front of like Make-A-Wish kids and things like that. Me, not so much. I was just like, whatever. I'm a regular dude. I'm gonna wait in line.
There was a 2-hour wait for cars, and
Oh,
we
God.
walked straight up and went right to the front. There was a guy in a wheelchair, and I'm like, "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. You're gonna have to wait because we're going on." And
I
no,
don't
didn't
care
do
if
that.
you were a vet, you know.
Oh, you're an Army vet.
You
Oh, this
lost-
is Make-A-Wish. Oh, that's great. I paid for a tour guide, so
Yeah, you got to do the tour guide, which it's so funny because I did look into that, and it was
how much
like,
was it?
It was so much. Like, you ever have something that's so much you can't even remember because it was
You suppressed it.
Yeah, all my mind knows is it was like that's too much.
Yeah.
You know, I can't do that.
Well, I didn't buy. I'm a Genie Bus got it for
Genie
us.
Bus, yeah.
And it was for Jay Moore, former guest.
Yeah.
For his son's first birthday.
Mhm.
We've done it twice for his birthday, so
I want to go to the birthday next time.
it's so great.
I gotta
man.
get invited.
It's so great
because
And
that would be pretty cool.
it was cool. I can't go back to Disneyland again.
Well, probably not,
Unless-
because then you would have to wait in line, and you'd be like,
Yeah.
"What am I doing?" Dude?
Yeah.
Because you do.
And
oh
I'd be-
my God. Bro, this happened twice. I did the Star Wars ride, the Rise of the Resistance. I heard
Yeah.
it's really cool. Literally, there were 5 people in front of us. They shut down the ride, dude.
Oh,
They shut down the ride.
the Star Wars, the one you can't miss.
Though I heard everyone's like, "You got to do this. You got to do this." Waited, and then so they're like, "It's off temporarily. You can leave or you can stay."
Yeah.
So then you're just waiting, and we waited like another hour, and we're just like, "Let's go,
See?
man."
See,
So then I kind of broke.
there's
Me-
your low in life.
That was a low. That was
Yeah.
definitely low. But then Guardians of the Galaxy was awesome. I did
Yeah.
that. I did it back to back, bro.
It's the best.
That's how much.
right?
That's how happy I was. I was
So
like, I
good.
gotta do this immediately.
So good.
It's so funny too because I felt like I could feel my like addiction, my alcoholism, my isms coming into play. Because I'm like, oh, that was fun. Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Again.
I could stay here all day and
Yeah.
do Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah.
It's so crazy because you sit in the chair and it takes you all the way up.
Yeah.
And then when it opens the door and you're like, oh my God, I am like 20 stories up. And then you're like, and then it just drops you straight down to the bottom. You know,
a lot like Hollywood. You know?
It is like Hollywood, man.
And I got recognized before I went on.
Did you?
Too. So it was just a bunch of endorphins were happening. This kid
good.
in front of me, this youngster, he turns around, he's like, "Are you Dustin Ibarra?" And I'm like, "Yeah, how do you know that?" He's like, "You were in 21 and Over." I was like, "Oh, yeah."
Nice.
So now I'm also like about to read the and I'm like, "Okay, time to act cool."
Nice.
You know? So I didn't do my girl. I didn't do that. I did the, oh, yeah, this is crazy.
I told you my cousin's daughter, so that would be what my second cousin. She knows I'm friends with you and was so excited because she knows you from Hop. And she couldn't believe that I was friends with you.
That's very cool.
And so I think she follows our podcast too. So
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Izzy.
wow.
If you're listening, we're talking
getting
about
that younger generation,
bro. Yeah. She loved you from Hop.
Longevity to our podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I did,
That's good.
And it was a good time. But I walked like 25,000 steps, but I also had like a turkey leg and some other things.
You sort of counterbalanced it.
I counted it. Yeah,
that's good. But you're at Disneyland, dude. What are you gonna do?
It's Disney. I'm not gonna count calories at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Why am I?
Yeah, my check-in is so I don't know if I talked about this before, but recently, I had a series of things happen. I was bowling, and I threw out my back.
Yes.
And for a little while, I couldn't really. You laugh.
I did laugh a little because I picture you doing it, and in my mind it looks funny.
Well, I'm compulsive.
I picture you with a ball and dressed in all your bowling gear, and then you throw the ball. And, you make like a noise like that.
It was gradual, dude. I bowled 21 games in 2 days.
21 games in 2 days.
And I felt my back going out and it hurting, but I'm like, I couldn't stop.
Oh, now
and I kept going and going and going.
Okay.
And then I had I was going bowling with Jeannie and Jay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm gonna go bowl there too. So I went and bowled, and but at the end, I just had to like throw the ball down, and then I had to quit.
You know what that was?
What?
That was karma for cutting all those people in line.
It is, huh?
At Disney. Yeah,
that is.
God was like, you know what? I got to take this guy down a notch.
By the way, if I go to a regular patron at Disney, and I'm waiting in line, and I see a Make-A-Wish or a veteran cut in front of me, I'm gonna be like, God damn, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Prove it. Yeah. Let me see your white blood cell count.
We need a doctor's note.
Yeah.
So anyway, I threw out my back, so it was hard to walk. I couldn't walk for a while, and then the car. I was eating milk duds.
Yep, and your tooth fell out,
cracked out at the root, so the tooth's gone. So I got to get an implant that quoted me $4,000.
My God.
And then my car went out and just kicked the bucket, and so I was like isolating a lot because I could lay down and I could stand up, but I couldn't sit down, so I wasn't going to in-person meetings and stuff. And so I started getting, lights out, candles, too much TV, and I couldn't sit up and do my meditation. I was doing laying down meditation and just sleep. So I was going into this funk, right?
Yeah.
And so I decided, you get to a point where you want to make a change. So I went and bought a new car. I got wait, I'll show it to you. It's awesome.
You showed me a picture of it.
It's nice.
Yeah,
it's really nice. I got a new car. I got the rest of it pulled out, and it's in the back. You can't even see it. So, so I'm gonna get an implant, whatever, when I can. And then I went clothes shopping yesterday. I bought all these clothes. I bought new shower mats. What else? I bought more candles. I steam cleaned my carpet. I washed my new car.
I feel like this is like
I meditated sitting up this morning, and so I'm just trying to reorganize my life so I can get a clean start, and so that's where I'm at.
You sound like one of the Sex in the City ladies that is going. They just got done with a breakup, and you're like, I'm gonna take care of myself.
That's what I'm doing.
Candles.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
Good. Well, I'm glad you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to do that.
You do. So
that's good, Greg.
And which kind of leads in, our guest today is somebody. I was doing a show at the Improv, and we were talking after, and we had this just amazing conversation about life and spirituality and near-death experiences and
near-death experience. That's always a good icebreaker.
Yeah. No, it was
ever
great.
Almost die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so our guest, she's an actor, storyteller. She does meditation coaching, which was good for us.
Yeah.
in medium work and end of life spiritual care. And get this, animal rescue work.
Oh, yeah, I love those videos.
Today's guest is Lauren Osborne.
Lauren, yay!
Hi. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for rescuing all those animals.
Oh, no, it helps me more than I probably helped them.
Yeah.
I love the animal rescue videos, but sometimes they cheat. Like they'll have like
cheat.
They'll have like a hummingbird. And then they rescued the hummingbird when it was a baby, and then then they show it a little later, and it's like different birds. It's not the same hummingbird.
No, they edit it together because I've seen that. We found this little baby raccoon.
Yeah.
And then they make a little story about it.
Yeah.
And then the raccoon, here it is in the dumpster. And it's like, that's not the same raccoon, man.
Yeah. Or what about the baby deer? They rescue the baby deer.
Yeah.
And then they show the deer comes back for food. And then all of a sudden they show a shot of like 30 deers. He told all the deer friends. And now all the deer friends are coming to your house.
Yeah, those are edited, man. They're doing that for likes.
Yeah.
But yours are legit, huh?
You do legit animal rescue work. Let's hear about it.
Yeah. So my parents did it growing up. I grew up in Georgia, and Georgia, you just find neglected, abused, discarded animals. So it was constantly them bringing animals home to rehabilitate, adopt out.
They would bring animals home a lot.
Oh yeah, there was one time
That's
I picked my
awesome.
sister up from school in my mom's Volvo, and we ended up with 3 dogs.
Oh
3
my
dogs
God.
in the car.
See?
We pull up, my mom's like, all right, here we go.
Wow. My mom would do that, but instead of dogs, she would bring stepdads.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
They would
Like
live with us for a while.
Like 3 at once.
Yeah, 3 at once. Like then you got to choose like which stepdad you wanted. And she would nurture them.
She would
then
nurture them back to
back
health.
to health. They would go back to their families. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
It's a nice little, yeah. I mean, the thing is, it was like really confusing because my house was like really chaotic, and there was a lot of like fighting and whatever. But my parents, like with the animals, they were really great.
Yeah.
And it just transferred to me, my sister too. And I did it in New York. I recently moved back to LA, and I mean, but like there's a lot of drama in the rescue world. A lot of the bigger groups, you see people like embezzling money and things like that.
Embezzling money?
Yeah, it's wild.
That is pretty wild.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like it's human nature, I think. You start getting money in and it's going into your bank account, and all of a sudden like you're buying yourself a coffee with it or whatever, and it just happens,
Yeah, I could see that.
It's
wild.
wild.
Come on, I saved a pit bull the other day.
Yeah.
I don't owe myself an espresso.
Yeah.
Sure.
I've embezzled a little money from this podcast, actually.
I had a feeling. I was looking at the accounts and I was like, something doesn't make sense here. And then I realized, new tooth, new car, new clothes. I know where that money's coming from, bro.
Yeah.
Wow. Just exposed right away.
So what's the most exotic animal that you had in your house?
God, we're always on the same page.
I mean, I grew up in Georgia, so my idea of exotic is probably a lot different than most people in the world, idea of exotic. But we had a lot of like just wildlife in the backyard, like raccoons and possums, which are the sweetest, cutest little things when they're not snarling.
I was gonna say possums. That's
no, they're really cute.
Really? They
sweet.
kind of freak me out.
Yeah, but they're supposed to.
I guess
that's why.
Yeah,
because you stay away, right?
Yeah,
it works.
It does.
Yeah.
It is scary. I saw one the other day outside my place, and I was just like, "Whoa, this thing is." Ugh. Yeah, but I didn't pop up at me. I was thinking more like kind of. They look a little satanic, a little demonized.
Well, that's the point of it.
They want to look like that so that no one messes with them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what the scariest animal to me though is?
What?
Besides, like a bear, fowl, geese, swans, chickens.
Really?
They are angry and they are mean, and they will go after you to hurt you.
Okay, I heard about
hurt
that.
you.
Yeah. They do. They're kind of like mean. Canadian geese, I hear, very you got to watch out for
Which
them.
is kind of opposite of Canadians. They're usually very docile and kind. You know, but not the geese.
No.
That's why they crossed over the border. They're down here with us.
Yeah.
They got the attitude.
The America rubbed up.
Right.
They come to the United States, they're all pissed off.
Yeah.
The taxes and the healthcare down here.
Exactly.
No health care.
See, those are the real immigrants that I'm worried about. You know, these Canadian geese coming down, infiltrating our apartment complexes, healthcare system,
taking over all the ponds from the American geese.
Come on, yeah,
It's
exactly.
like what?
These ducks have nowhere to go now.
Yeah,
because these Canadian geese, but they are beautiful creatures.
It all makes sense now, right?
They're not like possums, you know.
No.
Oh, imagine a possum with wings. That would be freaky. Oh my God.
You know what we had?
What?
Roaches with wings. Those things fly across the room. Have you ever seen those?
I lived in Atlanta for a little bit.
So you know.
Yeah,
you know
and they
horror.
were freaky. They were in the trees and they would just come down. And you're just like, because roaches are already like, ugh.
Yeah.
But a roach with wings, that's a different level.
Yeah. And they'll fly at your face or
they
as you're
bop
sleeping.
you in the face.
Yeah. Large. Yeah. That's a new horror. A lot for a lot of people.
That's what I'm going to be for Halloween.
A roach with wings?
Yeah, I'm going to be a roach with wings.
I think that's a good idea. You can do that. Just don't use the money from the podcast to make your costume.
For my costume?
Yeah.
That's great.
What is your, do you have a favorite rescue animal story? Like an animal that you really loved?
Yeah. So I specialize, I was working with a rescue group in Brooklyn. The two women that started it helped set up the TNR Foundation or the program in New York, which is really the only way to get the cat population down. There are never going to be enough adopt homes or foster homes, especially with the housing crisis, and people have to give up their animals.
What's the TNR Foundation?
Trap. So the program is the trap, neuter, release.
Yeah.
So we spay them and then we put them back. A lot of them are feral. It's the only way to get the population down. And I learned a lot from them. And then I ended up working with different just independent rescuers after that. So running around, I specialize in rehabilitation, emotional and behavioral rehabilitation for abused and neglected animals, which has really ended up helping me the most because I was like, wow, I'm doing this for them. And I start seeing what patience and love and support and structure do for them. And then it turned around on me, like in recovery, and it's like then the same process. And I get to help do that with people too. So my favorite, there is this pet store down in Park Slope when I lived in Brooklyn. It was about a mile away. And I would walk past it. And one day they had a sign in the window. Their store cat, Peter, this old black cat, had gone missing. So I was going down there daily to help walk around the neighborhood to find him. And he came back with some stories to tell, as they do. And but that
couple marks on his face.
Totally. He was a little scruffed up.
Yeah.
But I had become friends with the people that worked in the store by that point. So that just became our pet food store. And we would always, my partner and I would always go down on Sunday afternoons and get our food, but we forgot one Sunday. So we had to go on Monday, and he was worried, this was pre-COVID, and he was working in Herald Square, and he got off of work late, and then it was raining, and then we missed the bus, and all of those things that were just like, before like recovery, I would have gotten so frustrated about and so angry about, like the bus is late, and then he's late, and the rain, and we forgot. But because I was like in this like really spiritually centered, like, all right, let's just see what happens. Let's just next right action, right?
Yeah.
We get there. We're 5 minutes before the store was supposed to close. We get there and they'd already closed the store. They'd closed it early. But it was sunset and the rain had stopped and like it was summer. And I was like, you know what? Let's just walk down to Whole Foods, which was about 10 blocks away. Let's just take a stroll. So we're walking and we round this corner and down across this big avenue next to this abandoned empty lot with like rusty shipping containers.
There's the black cat smoking a cigarette.
I wish. Mine was back at home. I have a black cat named Charlie, and he's very much like Master and Margarita, the story. He's the behemoth cat that talks. Yeah. So we're walking, and there's this little orange cat sitting there, and people were Instagramming him and whatever. And I walked past him, and I was like, I can't. And so we turn around, we take him home, and so he's been with us for 7 or 8 years now. We have 3, and he's the naughtiest, just terrible, wonderful cat. But it was like this big lesson for me, right? Like if I had gotten my way, if the bus had been on time, if it hadn't been raining, if we had gone on Sunday, if I had been so in self and like so upset about whatever, instead of being loose and free and making a different choice, I never would have found like one of the greatest joys of my life.
I love
I
that.
like
Right?
that.
That is great. I love that story because there's things in life that happen. It's like in the moment you'll be pissed off and like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? You don't know why it's happening,
Right.
but it's happening for a reason.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like rejection, like in this industry, being an actor and a writer, I don't look at it as rejection. It's just redirection. The detours are always they're part of the journey, and they're not actually detours. They're actually just a rerouting.
Yeah. The part that I get caught up on that causes me problems is the slow periods.
The hallway.
So, did
you say the hallway?
The hallway is between
the hallways.
Yeah,
I like that. I've never heard that before.
Good. Yeah.
And my mind starts creating. My career's over. It's never going to work out. Nothing's happening for me. Those stories. So I think being spiritually fit, through meditation and the things that we do, hopefully allows me. I try to get to that place where I'm like, okay, let's see what happens.
Oh.
And
it's curiosity.
Yeah.
I prefer curiosity over open-mindedness. Open-mindedness can have like this connotation of like, okay, I have to be open-minded, and the mind can't fix the mind, and the mind cannot spring that trap, that door open to open-mindedness. But curiosity, I think, is something that everybody's experienced, and it has that. I love that you went to, you're telling your story about going to the amusement park, because there's a delight and a playfulness to it, and everybody's experienced curiosity, and I can't be in fear and curiosity at the same point. And there's a childlike energy to curiosity, and like, I just asked for like a bird's eye view, to like.
You were really curious about those turkey legs.
I was curious.
So you had 3 of them.
I had a few. Yeah.
You're like, I'm curious about these turkey legs. Let me see. See, that was a good thing, dude.
Yep. 2 turkeys lost. They sacrificed themselves for me. Man, turkey legs, they got a lot of bones in there too, man. They got those weird tendons, where you're like, man, what do you guys got these for? It didn't help you escape, obviously. I don't know if you need these extra tendons. Those are good though. It's so funny. We're talking about animal rescue, and I'm like,
I know,
turkey legs.
Eating turkeys. Are you vegan or do you eat?
I am vegan.
You are?
For some reason,
there you go.
I knew. Yeah.
There you go, Dustin.
But I'm the vegan that nobody knows I'm a vegan unless they ask me,
see?
So
you're not like judging me like,
no, not at all.
Pig killing these beautiful turkeys. Turkeys are mean too. So
they're almost as bad as Canadian goose.
Almost as bad,
right?
Foul.
Geese.
Yeah. Peacocks, like, never wear blue around a male peacock, because they're either going to try and mate with you or try and kill you. And see, they will go after
that sounds
you.
like Dustin, dude.
Yeah, I don't know which one I would want more. Mate with me or kill me.
Maybe a little both. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
What do you? So you do a lot of meditation. Greg was saying. Do you teach meditation? Or do you have a meditation class, or is it like a transcendental, or like I've been going down this whole meditation rabbit hole lately.
Great.
Been really into it.
Yeah.
I've been. Here's what I do. I'll go down to my garage, and it'll be all quiet, and I'll either just sit there by myself and then set my alarm for like 20 minutes, and I'll just sit there and close my eyes and just kind of listen. And it's like, listen to my breathing. Or I will go on YouTube and play some meditation, like a guided meditation thing.
That's good.
Where it's like,
Yeah.
But then,
Love
what
that.
here's the thing about guided meditation, because I'll be playing the video and the person will be like, okay, relax and do this. And I'm just thinking about the person. I'm like, man, this person's just doing this from their apartment. Like, what's their life like?
That's
Are
okay.
they making money from this right now?
Yeah, that's okay.
Are they making money off my meditation? Like,
you're allowed to have thoughts in meditation. Those thoughts are okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Even if they're about killing someone?
Yeah, well, maybe.
Those are okay?
Yeah,
It doesn't seem like they're okay.
So doing TM meditation, I went to my teacher one time because I thought I was doing it wrong because I couldn't stop thinking,
Uh-huh.
I had a lot going on in my life. So I'd sit down, I'd meditate, and like thoughts were just going crazy. And I went to my teacher and I said, I think I'm doing it wrong. And she said, why is that? And I go, I can't stop thinking. And she goes, Greg, that could be a perfect meditation because your body and your mind is releasing a lot of anxiety and stress. There's no goal. This is what the TM teacher told me, is there's no goal to meditation, you're allowing what's transpiring to transpire. And then sometimes you get quiet and you're contemplative, or things go quiet and it's peace. And sometimes, you know, it's like the ocean. At the top of the ocean, the waves are crashing, and you know, that's your thought life and all this stuff's going on. And then sometimes you're at the bottom of the ocean and it's completely calm. And there's nothing wrong with either one of those areas. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I learned. What's your take on it as being an expert meditator?
There's no wrong meditation. There's no expert meditation. In my opinion, I've never heard a meditation teacher, or like a legit one, ever say, excuse me, say, you know, that was a bad meditation. Where did those ideas even come from? You know, like, is this wrong or bad, or the idea of perfect?
Yeah.
What is that? You know, not real. But so my second meeting ever, I was a hardcore drug addict. And my second meeting ever, accidentally, was a meditation meeting. And I was terrified of people. I was terrified of, excuse me, a little tickle in my throat. I was so terrified of people looking at me that I just sat there, you know, and I had it was a 20-minute meditation, silent meditation. And I was shaking. I was like shaking. I had DT. It was insanity. I was sweating out booze and drugs and everything. But I had half a second of peace, of stillness, of something that I hadn't experienced. And except for like in my near-death experience. And I was like, oh, this is possible.
Yeah.
You know? And so I've meditated every single day since then. And I only say that because I'm not the best or whatever. I'm just saying that because it's possible. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And it's about making a decision to do it. Not making a decision is a decision. Not doing something is also a decision. And we get to rewire our habits. We don't create our future. We just create the habits that create our future. We're going to have habits one way or the other. So if I'm going to, and listen, I had plenty of time to do the other stuff, so I can make time to do this. And it's become the most important part of my day. And so I don't teach and I don't coach, because I don't think there is anything to teach or coach. I think that it's inherent in everybody. I think there's inherent wholeness and inherent peace and stillness and joy in everybody. It's just, it's been covered up, and we've been covering it up with like armor for so long, and a lot of the stuff in our heads. And this is just a process for me. I just help people remember, and also give them a place to share about their experience as they're going through it. And also I help to kind of push back on or reflect on, like, when those old ideas come back of like, I'm not doing it right or whatever, say, just a reminder of like, no, you're great. This is actually, and meditation, the etymology of it is in Greek is to ponder and to reflect. And if you think about an ocean, it doesn't really reflect much. The light bounces off, but still waters in a lake reflect everything. So it's about just getting still so we can have that reflection of what's going on in our mind. I can't get out. I'm attached. I'm dragged by the story if I don't have space from it. So this just gives us a place to start looking at it and get some space, and then touch into that thing, that still waters that are deep inside of all of us.
I've noticed, so I started meditating in 2017.
Great.
I've been doing it consistently, but besides the past few weeks, I've been laying down sleeping meditation, which I don't think is as good. But what I've noticed, so for me, the meditation is I'm more calm. I'm more perceptive. I have less depression. I handle things better. And like you were saying, you know, the missing the bus, it's raining, you know, all those things, and being upset about all those things. And instead, I'm more in tune to being allowing, you know, and have curiosity of, you know, what the future brings, and being okay with it. I got to a point recently where I was at a pivotal, you know, I was at a crossroads, and I didn't know how it was going to work out. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to let it go. And I'm curious to see how higher power, God, solves it, or what comes into my life. And then all of a sudden the answer came, and I'm like, wow, it was amazing. Better than I could ever imagine. You know?
Right. That's one of my favorite words is let. Like, just let it happen. Let things fall apart. Let things crumble. Rumi says, not much can grow on jagged rock. Be ground, be crumbled. So wildflowers can grow. Try something different. Surrender. Right. So it's like this letting.
Yeah.
You know, this
I think
allowance.
I saw that on a Snapple lid.
Yeah. You know,
something like that.
Yeah.
Jagged rocks can't go. Yeah.
Do you remember the old beer bottles where you unscrew it and then it has a little you have to solve the little.
That was Snapple.
Was that Snapple?
Beer,
Too?
I don't know. They probably. Yeah, I guess the beer people had it first.
I wish like there had been a liquor brand that had like roomy quotes on it. That would have been perfect for me because like I'm going to yoga drunk and like I'm going to meditation high and always like seeking, you know. And there are a lot of
Yeah, what's drunk yoga like? Drunk yoga, high yoga. I would start freaking out. I'd be like, everyone thinks I'm looking at their ass. I gotta get out of here, man.
It was great at first, but then halfway through when I stopped being drunk, and I'm coming down from that, I would just get angry and they would tell me to breathe and I'd get so angry at them. I'm like, breathing? I'm breathing. Just the attitude.
Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Like how important is the breath?
Yeah.
There was this Starbucks in Soho in New York, and they had a big mural that said gratitude, but it was a portmanteau of gratitude and attitude, an attitude of gratitude. So gratitude with 2 T's. And I was such an asshole back then. And I wrote them an email telling them that they misspelled gratitude.
Wow.
That's you know what's crazy? I couldn't really see you as an asshole. I don't know you. Maybe you are, but or maybe you were, but it's like the change that has occurred. You can't really. It's like, this person doesn't seem like an asshole.
It was just the defense, the scared, armor, especially at the end. The last couple of years, I was really emotionally violent. I would hiss at people. I would scream at people, at myself, like all the stuff like coming out. And but I think it's
you would hiss at people.
Oh yeah,
like like
like a cat.
I lived in New York for a while. You might have hissed at me back in my day. Right. Yeah, back in my drinking jugging days.
Yeah,
Well, I got hissed at by some lady in Times Square. She hissed at me. Ooh. See, I'm cool with like, call me a piece of shit, call me a fat motherfucker, but if you hiss at me, I'm like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
She's for real. I got hissed at.
Feral, yeah. Yeah. It's like that's, but I think it's, like none of us, like, I think it just comes out in those ways. It's just protective defense mechanism.
Yeah.
We work in the entertainment business too.
We do.
So there's so many highs and so many lows and huge wins and major disappointments. And so it's a very volatile existence. It is, I think, so.
But it's not, for me, it's not about being completely regulated at all times. It's like the highs aren't so high and the lows aren't so low. And when I am dysregulated, I can come back to regulation a lot quicker. The more I practice it, the quicker the bounce back is. And like when I meditate, it's not just for me, it's for the benefit of everybody that I'm going to come in contact with that day.
So you don't hiss at people.
I hiss at people. Yes, exactly. Because I can still feel that way sometimes inside. I have a chronic illness and a chronic pain from a car wreck. So I'm like, it's sometimes that makes me, it hijacks the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. And so, our faulty narrator that talks to us in our own voice very quietly, but with great authority, that's the thing that's like, and so now it's just a lot quieter. And it actually, I don't think that my brain is a dangerous neighborhood. I don't think it's the ego is an enemy. I think that it's all just there to teach me and to show me. And like, I have a very quiet mind most of the time now, which is good. Wild, but I don't in this industry, the entertainment industry, one of the things that I don't really have dreams or goals anymore. I just have this like intuitive like movement and like things just come and I write my words and I perform my things. And if something comes, I kind of have the same reaction to when I quote unquote get something than when I don't get something. I don't really have, it's just, I have gratitude for both now and I can appreciate both. And it's about connection and collaboration and the joy of that, like being a kid. But the one thing that's been hard lesson for me is when you almost get the thing. When you almost get the thing in this industry.
You could relate
know what
to that,
I mean?
Dustin.
When you've been through multiple auditions and now you're down to 1 or 2, and then maybe the brunette gets it because they want to have brunette. It's the very party of 5 thing, right? They have the blonde cast and the brunette cast. That's happened to me before. Yeah. So how do I wave that?
Yeah. You deal with that all the time.
I almost got that John Belushi part in that SNL movie.
So and
then you see it because it's not only you didn't get the part, but now you're seeing trailers everywhere for it. And you're just like, oh, that would have been cool. And then you see the guy and I'm like, I could played that, then you start analyzing, what did I do wrong? How did I not get that?
Right. So you got to stay out of that.
You got to stay out of that because it's like acceptance, you know. You just got to accept the things that happen and definitely learn from it. Like, and I did learn some things on that too. I learned there's just a few things where I was like, I should have went with my instinct on a few things, and I didn't. I listened to other people, and I just, because if I'm gonna screw it up, I want me to screw it up. I don't want to be like, that person screwed it up for me.
Yeah.
You know, you can listen to other people's opinions and then formulate your own response to it.
Yeah.
You know,
you gotta learn to trust like that inspiration, like literally means to be moved by the breath of God. So it's like that movement inside, like that's what we're doing here, right? Like we're learning how to just trust ourselves. And we know that as actors and performers, that surrender that happens when you step in there and I'm out of my mind. I've done the work and I have to trust myself and I just drop into that moment. Whoa, that free fall. I'm getting chills thinking about it because that joy. And then you're just free to like do what you know, because that's a gift. I'm not fabricating that. I'm not making that up. You know, that's just coming through. So when I've learned the disappointment, the heartache, the grief, the things I used to be so scared of that I just go into like with open heartedness now, those are the things that like drive my creativity. So now when I'm like disappointed when I don't get that thing, I start writing about it. Like I write characters that have experienced that disappointment and wow, because if I'm bypassing, if I'm trying to spiritually bypass or just bypass in life, all of those hard things, I'm not going to be a good creative person. Yeah. I'm not going to be a good writer. I'm not going to be a good actor. I'm not going to be a good person amongst persons. Who am I going to help?
Yeah. You know, it gives you, I think that it gives you character going through things, you know.
When I go through those big defeats, I like to get like 3 packs of Starburst and slowly peel them off and just eat one at a time.
You eat one at a time. See, I would just, what I would do is I would peel them all and then have one big giant Starburst. It's a feeding frenzy.
Well, I'll start eating one, but before I finish the other one, I'll put in another one, and then it's like a conveyor belt. You know?
See, I like the gift at the end. You know what I used to do? This is embarrassing, but you know those junior bacon cheeseburgers at Wendy's? I would get one. Like when I was a kid, I would get them, and I would take off the bacon, put it on the side, and eat the burger, and the bacon would be like my little treat. So there you go. Take with that. You know,
you get the bacon after, and you're like rubbing it on your face.
It's my little treat, bro. That bacon at the end.
My little treat as a kid was cooking vanilla. I would like
cooking vanilla.
Yeah, you know this like 45% alcohol.
Oh yeah, that's
so
good.
I'm like 10 years old baking, like taking the edge off, like drinking.
What?
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Sniffing rubber cement glue. I mean, I was always like hardwired for this stuff.
Oh,
you know?
I could go for some rubber cement.
I used to love
smell like gasoline still. I'm like, keep walking.
Gasoline. You ever like, did you ever huff, Greg?
No, yeah, I used to like snorting pixie sticks.
Okay.
No. I used to lick my finger and put it in the socket and shock myself. That's what I did. I would go like this, and then like
and then you would just do it again.
Yeah, I do it again.
Oh my God, you're a nut.
Yeah,
that's so fun.
You should have been meditating as a kid.
I know. I'm like sitting here thinking, this is my little addict brain. I'm like, wow, I missed out. Like, I wonder what those felt like.
There's a socket right here.
Snorting pixie sticks. Yeah. Amazing.
What about hyperventilating, and then the person squeezes you, and then you pass out?
Well, the hyperventilation
you ever do that one? They push on your chest or whatever.
That was a good feeling.
I didn't do that. I just did the hyperventilation because like it would get me high. Yeah. And I'm doing the things that gurus and the Hindu gurus and like shamans and whatever have been doing for thousands of years with the breath work.
Yeah.
I was like, as a kid, I'm already learning about the inner drugstore and how to like get the highs.
Inner drugstore.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. The rushes, I was
little things.
Oh yeah.
Things that get y'all.
Yeah. I graduated, which my favorite was at the end was crystal meth. I mean, boy, that's straight to
that's a little.
It's the worst. Do not do crystal meth.
That's a little more than
the worst.
Light sock, putting your finger in the thing, huh?
It started with putting my finger in the socket, and it ended with smoking crystal meth.
But all of that was just like, for me, it was crack. You know, and it was, but it's the high, right? And like all of that was just this low level search for spiritual connection.
Exactly.
The reading, the fantasy, the high, even the hiding, the emotional or the the world that I created inside of myself. It was all just seeking that. And I found it like the first time I set foot on stage, I felt at home in my body and in this world, not because I was playing a different character, but because I was so present and I had that connection. And so this journey has gotten back to that. I moved to LA and like my dreams got sick as I got sick. I was like fame, money, whatever. Not because I wanted to be famous, but well, the fame was like, I'll show them. Those people that hurt me.
I get that all the time.
I had that so bad. I look at
it makes me feel so sad.
It's embarrassing when you look back. You're like, I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna show everyone. It's like,
coming from such deep hurt.
You didn't give it. You're gonna treat me like that. Wait till you see when I'm successful and how I treat you.
I had a lot of like dad issues of like, cause my dad left when I was a kid, and I was just like, well, you don't think I'm good enough? I'll show you, buddy.
Yeah.
Totally.
Get on TV, do this, and it doesn't change anything.
No. It was like the abandonment stuff of
she
like
just tried to fill that hole with and
on the other side of that, I just wanted the money so I could help people and do more animal rescue. So there's those two things of like not understanding that the fix for both of those things was inside of me. You know, like my time, I can still be helpful without a ton of money. I would like the money to help, whatever, but that can't be my driving thing. And like, I don't need I don't need recognition anymore. I don't need people to acknowledge me. I don't need any of that. Like what a
You're
gift.
more spiritually fit than I am because I want after I do my set, you know, if I kill, I'll like go put myself right out in front of everybody so people can tell me, oh my God, you're so great.
Oh no, I'm the opposite. Mine has come through like the opposite way. I hide.
You hide.
Like mine, like I'm an under earner as well. Like I compulsively give my time away, but like it's hard for me to place a value on my art and my craft. A lot of that was from the near death experience too. I had like no ambition for wealth.
Which was, speaking of, what you had, we talked about this, but what was your near-death experience?
I had several, like starting when I was a baby, like it was wildness. But the major one was I was in a car wreck, a car pulled out in front of me and I didn't have time to hit my brakes and I hit the back of her. She hit and then she crushed me in the side and I don't remember any of it except seeing her pull out. And I had the God experience. I had the thing that people go into the rainforest to do, to lick frogs, to the DMT, to have that God experience. The non-duality. So DMT like flooded my brain. You know, non-duality, pure bliss, love, is
it the white light?
Or is it was more of like an out of body. I was suspended in what I could picture as like outer space where you have this like kind of like backlight and just like floating. Just pure, you know, it was the most real and truest thing I've ever experienced. And just peace. And my soul dog, Sandy, the unconditional love that I experienced with her as a kid, the safety that I felt with her, that's what I felt then. That's the best way I can experience. So if you have a pet like that, that's just fullness. And then I have felt the universal heartbeat. And then I heard a voice, not through my ear because there are no senses, but just through something else say, go back. And I didn't want to because I was really struggling in life. I was suicidal. I was 19. I was so much trauma. And but then I came back. They had to cut me out. Well, you know, it was bad. Like everybody thought I was dead and like all this stuff. And the world was like really dirty then. I didn't want to be in it. And a month and a half later, I was getting home from work. It was right before I moved to New York to go to school. And I pulled into I was staying with my dad at the time. I pulled in, driving my grandfather's truck, and I pulled into his parking lot. And I turned off the car and I take my seatbelt off and I get my purse and I turn back and there's a man standing at my window. And it's nighttime and there's forest all around us. And you can see like the signs for the Waffle House and the gas station, like in the distance. And he said that he was lost, and and I was like, there's gas station, you can go that way. And he's like, I can't hear you, roll down your window. I'm like, I can't. I'm not gonna roll down my window. And through a series of events, he tried to get into my car. And I had this moment because of that near-death experience where my whole body just got really still and my mind just cleared out. And I had that a voice that said, you're going to die.
Oh my God.
And the second voice was Oprah Winfrey saying, never go to the second location. Because this was like the time period where she was like very like women, you know, don't go to the second location. It was wild, like voice of God and then voice of Oprah Winfrey. And I was able to save myself in that situation. Didn't really think much about it. He left. He ran away, and he had a weapon. He was trying to pull down the window of my car. It was craziness. And I go to New York, and I'm in New York, and I get a stalker like right away, and it's just insanity. And I have brain trauma from the car wreck, and I'm in school, and I remember like writing on the page like my brain's not working right. And but I'm in acting school, and it's great. And then I find out that man was a serial killer, and he'd been arrested for the rape and murder of 6 or 7 other women.
Wow.
And his last victim survived the attack, and they were able to find him. And I lost it. Like I'm in New York, all these people around me, I'm full flight freeze. Like I almost died like with him. It was just, and that really just like when I started like the drinking and the, you know, that kind of stuff, because I just didn't want to be here. And it's been this amazing journey of, that woman that survived. She was re-traumatized because she was in the courtroom 4 years later. They got her no help. Serial killers have a tendency to target. They know they can sense women that grow up in homes without dads and abusive whatever. And she was arrested a couple of months later for trafficking marijuana, and has been in and out of the court systems for the past 20 something years. She looks like she's 80 years old. She's a prostitute, meth addict, like gave up her kids, everything. So now this journey for me is I'm trying to get her help because I'm a recovering drug addict, and I've also looked in that man's eyes.
Yeah.
You know, I'm uniquely qualified. I'm also in contact with him. He's trying to get out of jail, and I'm trying to help him. But also for me, like I've never had any kind of resentment towards the woman that pulled out in front of me or him. There's just something in my brain that like understands. They actually gave me 2 of the greatest gifts of my life. I had a spiritual awakening, you know, because of that. Like I met God, which I actually get to experience so often now in meditation. And, but also with him, I get to, but I really want to go back and actually see him face to face, because for me, a huge part of this journey has been, I also help people with forgiveness and with grief. And there's some like internal grief, you know, some stuff was lost for me during that time. And I'm not not in a blamey way, but I don't even know what it is. It's like deep in the subconscious. So I want to go see him. And I want to help her get her record expunged at least, because it's just marijuana, you know, and yeah.
Well, I'm glad
there's
that you're here. And I'm just, it's amazing, because I think you know, you've helped, and you're going to help a lot of people. And, you know, just like we were talking about before, everything happens for a reason. You're alive. You're here.
Yeah.
You had an insane close call.
Yeah.
And you're here now. And just that you're standing here, and you were not only just like sober, but like in a good mind space, and like doing everything that you're doing. It's just really inspiring and incredible.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, being able to do, like, I have no fear of death. So now I get to what that translates to me is like one of my major callings is to be with people as they're dying. And I've had the great gift of being able to do that. I don't get paid for it. I'm not a death doula. What I can do is just go sit and listen to people, and death is really safe. It's actually really safe and a really like beautiful thing. And I do medium stuff in a way where I was explaining to Greg, it's like being in a hotel room with that door that opens up to another hotel room. For me, the door's just open. There's no thereafter. There's no other place. It's just, it's all happening for me right here, right now. Yeah. So like I commune with like my ancestors. I have like that sort of thing. And I find dying and dead animals all the time, and I'm able to be with them as they transition. And that's something that I love doing. I welcome it, you know? Yeah. And so that's
incredible.
And I think it's great. Like you're going to eating turkey legs and then getting on roller coaster rides. And I think it's great. You're enjoying milk duds and like, you know, shit happens with our bodies. Who knows? It's like weird stuff. But
real quick, you don't see anything
great.
around us, do you? Like any crazy, wacky, like
I don't see things like that.
Okay,
but
cool.
No,
I
but
just want to make sure there wasn't like some like
She doesn't
not
see
like
the devil on your shoulder
is
going.
there a devil right here?
It's not the haunted mansion at
Okay,
Disney
cool.
World, which
But
is
the
one of my
haunted mansion
faves.
was
It's
broken
amazing.
too, by the way.
Oh man,
Yeah, I know it was a pain in the ass.
I might have
That
had
sucks.
that one
Yeah.
on my 4th step. You
I didn't
know,
get-
the haunted mansion.
4th
Come
step,
on.
It was broken when I was
I
like
got a
2.
resentment against Walt Disney that day. Yeah.
But you know, it's like it's not. I don't see things, but I do feel things. Sometimes I'm walking down the street and I get like hit by it. You know, and it's just, you know, it's I'm like, oh yeah, just be aware. Like I had an out of body experience when I was at Stonehenge. You know, like that sort of thing. And I think it's these things that we're seeking are just they're really freely available in meditation. Meditation just lets us get quiet enough to hear a different voice. You know, it's like turning this one down in the head so we can hear, and it's in all of us. And the weirdest, strangest thing started happening. I started seeing the goodness in everybody, and I mean everybody. And that's
even Dustin
stuff.
Even me,
I mean,
my Starburst addict.
I really like when you walked in the
best,
room. I really had
Dustin.
to take a step back and like breathe and like, all right, come on, find the goodness. No.
She felt your.
No, you're so full of joy, and like
You
have
are,
this.
dude.
You really are. You just glow.
Oh, thanks.
do,
dude.
That's
You
crazy
really do.
today too, because this morning was a rough one. But yeah,
You glow, and so, but
Thank
that's
you.
the thing. You don't have to fabricate it. You don't have to make it up.
That's
That's it.
Thanks.
Well, that's
Oh,
what
you
I
made
said
me
when
feel good.
when you were coming on the podcast. I'm like, let's just be real about what's going on with us. You know, I was
Yeah.
struggling with the things that have happened. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
You know?
Like my
And,
struggle is like I said, like I don't know how to. I don't care about money, but like I need to make money. I need to participate in this world.
Yeah.
And like I've been an actor for a long time. I still can't get my 3rd SAG voucher. I don't know how or why. You know, maybe I need a different age. Like I don't know all these things. It's not up for me to decide. All I do is just the next right action.
Yeah.
And I just put it out there and like I could. So there's that thing in me that I'm coming to right now. What I'm bottoming out on, because it's a series of just bottoming out. Okay, this thing is in the way. And the thing for me is that like my self-worth and my self-value is like getting in the way. It took me a long time to even picture myself to be able to be on set. Like I felt like imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And now I can just walk on a set because it's not about me. I'm there to do a good job.
Oh yeah.
And I'm there to be of service. Right.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming today.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you
wish
so
we
much
could
for
just
having
talk
me.
So much more because this was I love this.
It was
This
amazing.
was a great podcast.
You know, I love our
great
podcast
guest.
because know it's we get to talk to such interesting people like you, Lauren, and I learned so much.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I'm a
love
better.
it.
I'm
it's more like my therapy. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a better person because of this podcast.
Me too.
So
You guys, it was so nice to meet you both. I mean, I've met you, Greg, but it's so nice to
It was
just share
awesome.
space
It was
with you.
great meeting you.
Yeah, and if either of you want a cat or a dog, or know anybody that wants a cat or a dog, you know how to find
Canadian
me.
goose.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Canadian goose.
No, run.
Yeah. You got any access to turkey legs?
Yeah, right. That's what I'm interested in. But thank you so much. And where can people find you? You got Instagram, or in case they want to meditate?
Yeah.
If you want that.
Yeah. So my Instagram is @whyhelloitslow. And then my meditation website will be up shortly.
Nice.
Yes.
So like death stuff, grief stuff, forgiveness.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's incredible. Well, thanks again.
Thank you so much for
thank
asking
you.
me.
Subscribe, share. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Meditate.
Don't
feel
go.
the Starburst wrappers next time you open it, and
eat the turkey legs. Do
it. And go to Disneyland.
Yeah. Disney.
Well, maybe not right now. Wait till the rides are fixed.
Yeah.
Give it some time.
No, thank you guys.
Thanks, guys. That was awesome. I'm Dustin Ibarra.
I'm Greg Baldwin.
Find us on social media and on the web at goodthingspod.com.
You can also find us on Instagram and YouTube at Good Things Are Happening Podcast.
We're on Patreon. Sign up because we're going to have some cool stuff on there.
Like really, really, really cool stuff.
So dope we can't even talk about it. Yeah. And remember, when life gets you down, good things are happening.
Good things are happening. Help somebody.